The time is 6:30 p.m. and the Louisville Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of April 19th, 2016 is now called to order, and we do have a quorum present. Agenda item 2 is approval of the minutes of the March 15th, 2016 meeting. If there are no additions or corrections, may I have a motion to approve as presented?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Steve.
Second.
Seconded by Alvin. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3 is a consent agenda for plats. This is the final plat of Inspired Living at Louisville Edition. It's Lot 1, Block A, containing a 14.31 acre tract. It's zoned Medical District MD. It's located on the south side of Farm to Market 3040 between Valley Parkway and Ace Lane.
Good evening, Commissioners. There is one plat on the agenda for approval. There are no variances requested. Staff would recommend approval.
Thank you, Mary. Comments?
No.
Questions? Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Brandon,
Second.
seconded by Mary Ellen. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Public hearings now. Item number 4A is a public hearing consideration of a zone change request from General Business District, GB, to Old Town Mixed Use 2. It's OTMU2 on 2 tracts of land totaling approximately 0.6323 acres, located on the east side of Charles Street between Elm Street and Houston Street. It's legally described as Lot 2, Block A, Louisville Center Edition, and is a portion of the J.W. King Survey. It's abstract number 696, as requested by HAT Group, LLC, the property owner. This is case number PZ 2016-0411. June?
Good evening, Commissioners. The 0.6323 acre lot is made up of 2 individual properties that fronts on Charles Street between Elm Street and Houston Street. Both of these properties are vacant right now and part of the South Village concept plan that was approved by the City Council back in 2014. The remainder of the South Village plans area has already been rezoned as OTMU2. These are just to match because it's currently zoned GB. The current zoning of the property is general business, which allows for a multitude of neighborhood services and offices, primarily retail in nature. The applicant is requesting Old Town Mixed Use 2, OTMU2 zoning, to allow for a mixed use of commercial and residential. That would be the part of the larger South Village development. The zone change to OTMU complies with the Old Town master plan for the area and allows for greater flexibility in developing the site. And the staff recommends that Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the zone change request from General Business District to Old Town Mixed Use 2 District. If you have any questions, the staff is here to answer any questions.
Commissioners?
No.
All right, this time we'll open up the public hearing. Anyone that wishes to speak on this item 4A, please come forward, sign in, and state your name. All right, having no one come forward, the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, comments? If not, may I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
seconded by Brandon. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, this item will be considered by the City Council at a public hearing on Monday, May the 2nd, 2016 at 7 o'clock p.m.
Thank you. Item 4B is a public hearing. It's consideration of a zone change request from Old Town Mixed Use 2, OTMU2, to Parking District, PK, on approximately 0.264 acre tract of land located on the north side of East Main Street, west of Railroad Street, at 541 East Main Street, legally described as a portion of Lot 9R, Block 22, Keeley Edition, as requested by Alex Payne and Body, LLC, the property owner. This is case number PZ 2016-0412. Richard?
Thank you, Chairman Davis and members of the commission. The item before you tonight, you have seen a couple of times before last year. I believe the first time that the applicant came forward was just for a straight zoning change to PK. And that went to the city council, and the council wanted to see more detailed plans for the property. And so the applicant withdrew this first time. So then the second time he came back forward with more detailed plans. But the issue that the council had at that point was there was no guarantees that those plans would be carried forward, especially for the buildings in the front. They didn't really have a problem with the parking lot. They felt that any use that would occupy any of the either this lot or the adjacent lot needs parking, but they had issue with the frontage of Main Street. They really wanted to make sure that if a plan wanted to come forward, that they wouldn't have to change zoning. They felt that would be an obstacle to any type of development of that street frontage. And that's the point when it was suggested by the council that maybe only the parking area should be rezoned. And so the applicant withdrew and still provided the concept of kind of a two-phased approach to this project. But this request only changes the zoning to the rear portion of the lot that would be occupied by the parking lot. In concept, the applicant still has two phases in his overall plan. The first phase would be to build the parking lot with a decorative fence surrounding that parking lot, and then landscaping on the two areas along the street. And those two areas would be future building footprints, either constructed by this landowner or by subsequent landowner. And so this is kind of what the council expressed a preference for. So therefore, staff recommends approval of the request. We feel it's kind of a compromise, and it meets some short-term goals of the applicant and the property owner, and still keeps intact the long-range redevelopment plans that the city has for the overall area in the Old Town Master Plan, which is the gradual redevelopment of really the entire east end of Old Town from City Hall all the way over to the train station and the railroad tracks to an eventual mixed-use environment with a mixture of residential, office, retail, and restaurant. And with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions. I know this is kind of a confusing situation, but I'd be glad to answer any questions, and the applicant is also available to answer any questions if you have any.
Commissioners?
Yes. In regards to the two buildings, about what size would those buildings be? Because I'm looking at it, it looks kind of small, but I can't really.
I believe they're each footprint is about 1,800 square feet, so being two-story, each building would be 3,600 square feet. And again, this is just a concept. Since this is straight zoning, we can't hold anyone, to a concept, but at least it is. It's provided to show you, the intentions that the applicant has in the future for the property.
Okay. All right, thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
This time we'll open up the public hearing. Anyone that wishes to speak, please come forward, do so, and sign in your name.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I just, my goal with this, is just trying to keep doing that parking lot in there and keep about what we're doing about the business, doing the auto repair in there, and definitely doing the beautiful corner on that Main Street, since, what probably you guys seen the building that we got in there already, so trying to finish that corner in there to help, to do the best presentation about building and get more private, you know, about the customers' vehicles that we have inside the shop.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your efforts to compromise and come up with a good plan.
Thank you.
All right, having no one else come forward, the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, discussion? Oh. Okay,
Good afternoon.
okay.
I was involved in the process of the design and urban composition, and we were trying to, as you mentioned, be committed with the community development and being aware of the ordinances of the city and trying to really conciliate different interests. My client, the budget, and all kind of issues. But just want to let you know that this is very deep effort in trying to be respectful with the ordinances and trying to increase the beauty of the community and contributing with the development of the zone as well.
Sir, I didn't catch your name.
Eric
Eric.
Cortez.
All right, thank you, Eric.
Eric, did you sign in?
What I thought.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, now we will, anybody else wish to speak? If not, we'll close the public hearing now. Thank you, sir. Commissioners?
I think this one looks a lot better.
I'm conflicted about this. I'm not sure if we'll see a building in there, but there's been a lot of work, and I'm going to support the planning team, and I'm going to support it.
I'm also going to support it this time.
Okay. All right, if nothing else, may I have a motion to, or make the motion, and we'll see.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Brandon,
Second. Take it.
seconded by Alvin. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, this item will be considered by the City Council at a second public hearing on Monday, May 2nd, 2016 at 7:00 p.m. here in the council chambers.
Thank you. All right, item C is a public hearing, consideration of a special use permit for a convenience store with a gas service station on approximately 1.377 acre tract of land located at the northeast corner of Farm to Market 544 and Old Denton Road, FM 2281, legally described as portion of Lot 1, Block M, Wendell Meadows Edition, Phase 1, and Zone General Business District, GB, as requested by John R. Featherston of Dimension Group on behalf of Parker Denton Crossing, LP, the property owner. This is case number SUP 2016-0405. Mary?
Good evening, Commissioners. This special use permit request is for a gasoline service station. This is in combination with a convenience store located at the corner of FM 544 and Old Denton Road. Currently, this would occupy a portion of the portion of the lot closer to the corner. In your packet, you have the images of the location as well as the elevations. I'm just going to kind of go through the process. I apologize for people in the audience here, but our overhead is broken, so I don't have anything to show them right now. The development plan shows a one-story convenience store building with a footprint of approximately 2,940 square feet. The building will be constructed of brick with a stone wainscot on all sides of the building. There'll be two varieties of brick will cover the upper portion of the building. Cast stone banding will provide architectural separation of the brick and stone, and a brick cornice will be used along the roof line. A bronze metal awning will cover the front entrance. Outside vending machines of ice, portable propane, and red box is also proposed. There is a dumpster enclosure that will match the building. The gasoline canopy itself Will contain 6 gas pumps that can serve up to 12 customers at a time. The canopy columns will be wrapped in the same stone used on the wainscot of the building. The canopy cover will have a hip roof made of standing seam, pre-finished in dark bronze, and the canopy will have the 7-Eleven logo and colors banding it as well. Signage for the proposed property. There will be signage on the building as illustrated on the elevations. In addition, there is no pole sign proposed for this location. They are proposing, however, 2 monument signs. One to be located on Old Denton intersection and one on the Old Denton Road entrance. Landscaping and screening of the site. So the typical landscape strip for other typical commercial properties is a 10-foot landscape strip. In this instance, they are going to be providing anywhere from 20 to 25 feet of landscaping along both street frontages. It will be heavily landscaped with shrubs and ground cover as illustrated in the landscape exhibit. In addition, at the rear of the property, where it backs up to the Wendell Meadows subdivision, there is proposed masonry, 6-foot masonry screening wall. The gas station is proposed to back up to an HOA lot that contains the amenity center for the subdivision. If you noticed on the landscaping plan, the front street frontages typically have trees that are required. However, in this particular location, there are a plethora of different types of utility easements in that area, ranging from sanitary sewer, water, electric. There's some big city main lines running in this area. So basically everything that I've highlighted in yellow here is an easement. And staff has looked at this and does not want any type of trees in this area for fear of either it growing into the lines or interfering with the maintenance of those lines. So all the trees that would have gone in the front, we have relocated them on site, and we've managed to put them back along the rear of the property in front of the masonry screening wall, so it'll provide some adjacent buffering to the HOA lot. So there's a total of 13 trees that will be provided on site, 2 of them in the parking lot and the other 11 along the rear property line. This facility will be open, as most gas stations, 24/7. They have 3 different shifts. Basically, they'll have, I believe, 8 different people working there through various shifts. Do you have any questions? The applicant is here as well to answer any questions.
I had one question. Lighting, is it
Yes, sir.
would it interfere with the residents or the building behind, or the lights aimed toward the street, or
There are lighting restrictions. I do not have a lighting plan at this time. The applicant may be better able to answer that, or you can make that, we can look into that to restrict some lighting.
because like 24 hours a day, those lights would be on in the evening, night? Okay.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to the lighting, they will have to comply with the, it's a 1/4 foot candle of intensity, light intensity at the property line of single-family property. They have to demonstrate compliance with that at the time of their engineering site plan. So that's an automatic requirement for any business that would locate at the site.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there are built-in requirements.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you, Mary. Before we open up a public hearing, I see we have a lot of residents, and we sure appreciate you coming out and showing interest in your community or your neighborhood. We'd like to set a few ground rules before we start. Everyone, of course, gets an opportunity to speak if they wish to. We would like to kind of hold it to 3 minutes if we can per individual, and that's normal when you have a large group that's wishing to speak. There's also another suggestion: if you want to come up, do the normal, state your name and sign in. That if you have a question, that you state your question. The staff will gather those questions, and when we're finished coming forward, then they'll address each question one at a time. So that sounds like a pretty fair way to handle a good crowd. So at this time, then we'll open up the public hearing. Anyone that wishes to speak, please come forward and sign in.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and council members. My name is Nelson Ashadi. I'm a resident of 2287 Prairie Green Street in Louisville, where the proposed property is supposed to be situated. We got some notice last week with regards to these particulars, special use permit for the gas station and convenience store that is coming in there. If you look at the clubhouse that we have is literally about 50 or 75 feet from the proposed site. And this is a residential neighborhood. Many of us will never dream that they will bring a gas station right close to our property where people live on the north side, the south, the east, and the west. Approximately 1.5 miles to the west, east, north, and south, there are other gas stations all in commercial zoning area where there's no home. But this is too close to our family, especially where we all gather for whatever we needed to do. So we're requesting for the chambers to please reconsider this particular special use permit not to grant it because of the effect it's going to have on our family members and some of the residents and our property value. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, Nelson. Any questions for Nelson? No? Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm one of the residents of Wendell Meadows, and apparently I just got to know about this 2 days ago. And it's a little disappointing because firstly, it's a residential community, number one. And the second thing is we've even spent a lot of money to get there. And then there's so many other factors where we had second thoughts about moving into the residential area. Number one, it's right next to the 121, which is you have already air pollution, noise pollution. And on top of this, then you're talking about a gas station, which is going to be like next door. It's pretty much next door, and it's right behind the clubhouse. Number one, I would say, again, in terms of pollution. Second, we would talk about oil spillage. Third, I would say there's no privacy for the resident if there's any commercial activity right next to a residential area. So this was some kind of concerns where I'd like to bring it out personally. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Your name?
Good evening. My name is Naveed Palavan. I'm one of the residents at 2285 Prairie Glen Street. My house faces the gas station directly with nothing between the front door and that gas station. I mirror the similar complaints that have come with my neighbors in regards to the light pollution, which I understand will does have to meet certain regulations, but nevertheless, that light will be shining 24 hours a day to the front face of my home. I've also mirrored the noise pollution that it's going to incur. I'm unaware if this gas station will be selling liquor or not, and that plays a factor as far as home privacy and safety. I appreciate that the wall is being built by that swimming pool and the children's playground right next to the gas station. However, I feel that another resolution could be to build a wall on the other side, protecting all the homes facing that gas station. This will also help keep litter out of the community. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening all. I'm Saravanan Palaniappan. I'm residing in 2290 Wind Meadow Lane. And I have same concern as my neighbors. Like for me, like when I moved in, it was not meant that the area located is not meant for gas stations. So for the main concerns are privacy, security, and as well as like most of my time, like my kids spend time next to this pool, and definitely it is going to impact in a lot many ways. So I just came here to raise my voice against this one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. This is Harvish Deva. I'm also a resident of Indale Meadows. Been one of the first persons to move into the community thinking that this area is good and safe for everything. When we came in first, there was nothing around, and we didn't expect such thing to come up, which it causes safety concerns and pollution concerns, apart from all that stuff that we have around already. Along with that, it's very close to the children's playground over there, as that part is part of the HOA. We do not have any other parks or anything nearby, so I believe that going forward, all the kids will be playing in that area definitely. So it's not about our kids, it's anybody who comes from newly coming to the community. And moreover, we look forward for the community to grow. Now, if you see a gas station coming, there are about nearly 150, another 150 homes to come in there. So I don't know if the new people, whoever wants to come, they'll buy the homes or not. And we have spent so much, or we invested so much in our properties, and our property value may go down because of that. And also, I would echo other things that my neighbors have mentioned in that. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Gary Fullington. I'm with the property owner. I'm of Parker Denton Crossing. We appreciate your time and your consideration of this. We've been working on this project for quite some time, working with the city and with TxDOT on relocation of utilities. You heard a comment about the number of utilities that are here on the property and on the corner. So we've been working on this for quite a while. We've had discussions with staff. We worked closely with staff and heard concerns and met with them more than a couple of occasions and tried to make sure that we were being considerate of some of the issues that would probably be mentioned and brought up. We've also worked with Lennar, who was the property developer adjacent, been in communication with them of our intent and the effort that and what we're proposing to do on the property. I would mention, as you can probably see from your packet there, again, I wish we had the opportunity to see that, but this is 1.3 acres out of a 4-acre parcel, and it's on the immediate corner. To the street to the north at Prairie Glen is at the far north end of the tract. which is, I don't know exactly the measurement, but it's about 400 feet from this property. And so the intent will be that this would be, the use that we're being considered here this evening is for the SUP for the fuel component that's be a part of the convenience store process. The balance of the property will be developed as retail. The zoning does allow additional retail to be built there. And so this would only be a single use of what we propose to do ultimately with the entire 4 acres. So, I heard the comments about the lights and the distance and looking at the building, but there'll be quite a distance separating Prairie Glen to this use. Now, there'll be other uses that would fall in line to the north of this site. We are considerate of the fact that this does abut to the public. I think the community center is adjacent, so therefore you see the enhanced look of the screen wall that was there. And again, working with staff, we relocated additional trees along that to provide additional buffers. And then what's may not be shown or evident on those drawings is the property that's immediately to our east. There's a creek that's to the east of us, and that's a large greenbelt area that then is off to the east and behind our site. And so there's, we did give consideration to the fact that we are in a community. In that regard, we've, in order to try to be as compatible as possible architecturally, we provide the enhancements that you see on the elevations there. The architecture in the community is this brick and stone look with the enhanced hip roofs. And so therefore, we tried to have our building designed in order to be as compatible as we could within that community and that design as well for a retail use. Those things are the items that I would want to make sure point out that in some of the background. The enhanced landscaping, working with staff in order to try to be considerate of the issues that we'd probably hear about. Oh, and one comment that I did hear about the beer or the liquor. Liquor, of course, is not allowed, would not be a part of this. Beer and wine is a separate application. It's a separate licensing issue, but liquor certainly is not allowed. Lighting issues were asked as well. We're obviously, as Richard has said, we're obviously going to comply with code. We do use an LED lighting, which is if you've seen those in some of the newer retails, it doesn't cast the same glow or that stark bright light across. And then we have a full cutoff on what we call a full cutoff on the canopy. That means a recessed light, if you will, so that you don't see that stark light from underneath the canopy too. It's a downcast lighting. And I think you said it, the foot candles at the property line is was it quarter? Yeah, 0.25 per foot candle at the property line, which is has basically no light escaping the property lines. So again, my name is Gary Fullington. I'm available for any comments or questions. Thank you.
Is there any plan for a car wash bay?
None.
Separate? Okay.
No. For one, there's not room for it, but no, there's no plan for a car wash.
Okay. And go ahead.
I was going to say, in the zoning, the other thing I would point out, you're all aware, and I know the staff alluded to it here in their report, the issue is the SUP for the fuel, the 24-hour, the retail use. Those things are not a part of our application. It's the SUP component of the fuel is what we're asking you to consider.
How much communication have you had with the residents?
I've tried, well, through Lennar, my contact was through Lennar to reach out to the homeowner association organization, and I think they still control that. It's still a community that's not evolved completely, and they've not turned loose. I don't know what their policy issues are, or their establishment of the guidelines for their homeowner association leadership. But we did reach out, and I was in contact with Lennar property, I forget the title of it, property director, and their community affairs person.
Okay. Questions for him?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bumaya Pata. I live at 334 Windale Drive. My family recently moved to this community, and we moved about 4.5 months ago, and we have not received any communication from Lennar or the homeowners association. Had there been this gas station 4 months back, probably I would have taken a different decision, and there would be at least 150 to 200 new homes would be coming in that communities, and if people think like me, and probably if they go back, and my property value may go down, and it would hurt me financially. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My concern would be this facility will be so close to the residential property that we cannot see the direct health and safety effects in a very short span, but it will definitely have the chronic effect on the people residing in that community. So my concern is basically the health and safety of all the residents. And we can never rule out the explosion and fire effects, fire things also in that through that gas stations. So being so close to the residential property, that is a big concern for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I carry the same concern what all the residents are carrying here. And one of the main reasons that why we moved in here was it was a more calm and nice atmosphere that we had when we moved in. And the play areas were more safe. And if you see with this new construction that's coming in there, it's very close. We can't see, you can view, right? Anything that you can view is kind of approachable. So although we may have like walls and other things, still it's a 24/7. There's going to be activities. We don't know what kind of people will be coming into the gas station because we have everybody coming. And we can't leave the kids alone in the kids area to play, to be on their own or near in the swimming pool because it's just going to be few steps away from those areas. And that's the only recreational thing that we have in that community. And if that's also going to be a risk, then hardly find like nobody's going to use that. And that's one. And the second is like since there's going to be a lot of activities, being a 24/7, there's going to be a lot of activities around the gas station, people coming in, going out, and safety definitely is a concern for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vamsi. I recently moved into the community at Wendell Meadows. I basically have the same concerns as everyone else. I just wanted to come here to let you guys know that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ari Kim. I'm here actually living in the same community as they are, and I do have concerns about the property being next to gas stations, like everybody else does. But one thing I wanted to point out is they never made an effort to reach out to our residents, and we actually recently heard about this like 2 days ago. So basically, we weren't prepared for this at this time, but everybody has a same concern about safety and issues with the lights and things, and especially for our community values. There's more residents, like Professor said, coming in, and we don't want to having them stop, coming from looking into that gas station and not coming into and being finished. I just wanted to point out, I mean, we're going to be the ones who's going to facing that gas station throughout 24/7 once it's built. And we don't want to, I mean, have all these different things come up later on. So we definitely want you guys to think about that. And based on looking at the community itself, not just ours, but Castle Hill, everybody else, there's, I mean, it is a neighborhood area. All the communities are surrounded by the houses, and that's going to affect most definitely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay, anyone else? If not, we'll close the public hearing at this time.
Mr. Chairman, you may want to hold off on closing the public hearing, because one option you have, you could continue if you choose to for various reasons. Since there is so many speakers tonight with concerns, you may want to encourage the applicant to hold maybe one or two meetings with the with the neighborhood to make them familiar and share the plans for the proposal with them, so they have a better understanding of it before you make a recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
And that's what I would suggest. It seems like there is a disconnect between the Lennar people and getting the communication to the residents. It is zone general business. There are going to be businesses there of some sort. So I think maybe that the developer and the community probably need a little more time to speak and kind of work out their differences. That would be my suggestion.
Was there someone else that was going to be coming up to speak just now? And then sat back down? I just want to make sure if you wanted to speak, you had your chance.
Everyone is here. Yeah, please come up.
Please come forward.
Somebody stood up.
No,
there, okay.
Hey, my name is good evening to everybody. I have also same concern, security, and we are fine other than gas station. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, Richard, we would continue it to what date, or do we need to specify a date?
That would be our next meeting, which is Tuesday, May 3rd.
Okay. Okay, may I have a motion?
I move to continue.
Second.
Yeah,
No,
the-
sorry.
Okay, motion by Mary Ellen, seconded by Steve. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It would be on the, what did you say, the May
3rd.
Yes.
May 3rd meeting.
We will continue this public hearing for public comments in two weeks from tonight, which is Tuesday evening, May the 3rd, 2016 at 6:30.
Okay, does that require any additional mailings or notification to the?
Does not.
Okay. All right. With that, the last item is adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Moved by Brandon, seconded by Alvin. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Meeting adjourned.